Hi guys, this is Eyewitness. These are accounts of how I've seen God move in power with my own eyes and things that I've witnessed myself. I wrote a song one day and it was called I Believe. And I remember even as I was singing it, usually towards the end section of most of the songs would be the ad-lib section, in which I'd really, so that you just be singing from the heart and singing from the spirit. And I remember at the time singing it, the chorus line was simply, I believe, everything God said he'll do, he'll do. And I was singing, I believe. And so when the ad-lib came, it says, I believe he'll heal the sick. I believe he'll raise the dead. I believe he'll make me see again. And at the time I had these cataracts and everything was getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And it seemed like it was impossible for me to get it seen to, and it was just this deterioration. But the thing that was really worrying me was that even as I was singing it, that in my mind, in my heart, it seemed like it would have been easier for God to raise the dead than for him to even restore the eyesight that I have, you know. And I remember one day driving up to Belfast with these cataracts. Honestly, I don't know how I did it. I don't know how God by his grace managed to keep me all that time. I remember I came over the hill, and as you came over the hill, the sun was just blazing down. I was just absolutely blind, driving blind, and you know, it's only the goodness of the Lord that managed to keep me. However, there was this deterioration, and I remember there was one day in particular. There's one day in particular that struck me, because now I was supposed to be on a waiting list, and the waiting list I was there to be supposed to wait for 3 years, and so it was just becoming a frustration. I remember one day we were in the Thursday prayer meeting. We usually have a Thursday prayer meeting. We have a core group, about maybe 5 or 6 people who prayed. And I remember one day, you know, God in his faithfulness, God does things even when we cannot believe, even when we won't believe, even when we can't see it. He does it to show his glory. And I remember Joe and Chris. Joe's the elderly gentleman and Chris is the elderly lady. Joe and Chris came. You know, I usually used to lead that prayer meeting, but on this day it was the end of it. They said, Andrew, you need to sit down. We're going to pray for you. And I remember in my heart, and I've got to be honest, and in my heart I was just like Sarah. I was laughing to myself. I said, Jeepers, but I'm the one who should be praying for you all, and yeah, you're praying for me. And I remember without fail, they sat there. They sat me down in a chair like this. And so I'm sat in the chair, hunched down like this, in that place of absolute powerlessness. And they laid hands on my eyes. And they asked God to do what only God can do. And I remember Joe, I still remember it now. Joe said, can you see what's on the wall? I said, no, I can't, but we trust in God. And you know, I remember as I walked them to the door, I thanked them for praying for me. But still in my heart there was I'm saying, Lord, thank you. You know, it's amazing, you know, maybe now you're causing the group around me to expand and to grow in grace, in power, in might. But it was just the audacity of their faith. Where they said, you sit down, we're going to pray for you, and that's it. And then, that was Thursday. On Monday I get a phone call from the Mater Hospital. The Mater Hospital is a private hospital here in Cork. They said, Mr. Fynn, are you on the waiting list for eye surgery? I said, yes, I am. They said, Mr. Fynn, do you mind? I know you're on the waiting list. Do you mind if we take you here at the Mater private hospital? I was like, no, I don't mind. Okay, we'll set up an appointment for you in 2 days. 2 days later, I went for the appointment. 1 week later, I had the operation. And all of a sudden, I was seeing crystal clear. I looked at it and I'm saying, this is the doing of God. This is the doing of God. The day that they laid hands on me, two days later, you get a phone call to say, come. A couple of weeks later, I'm seeing crystal clear. And every time I look out now, I give God honor and I give God glory, because he was the one who opened the door. And even when I couldn't believe that I would see properly again, I see properly. My eyes have seen. My ears have heard the wonders of the Lord. And I want to give God glory even for the simple faith of Joe and of Chris, that they would sit, that they sat me down and they prayed. And I want to give God glory above all for himself. That even when I couldn't believe for myself, even when I couldn't see for myself, even when I thought it was easier for him to raise the dead than for me to see again, he did the impossible. Now I see clearly, totally clearly. You know, and for this I want to give God all honor and all glory and all power and all might. I want to say thank you, God, for your faithfulness. Because my eyes have seen, not literally, my eyes have seen the wonders of the Lord.